So far, we haven't done anything to bold our text, change the font, or to change anything about the formatting of the text. This can be accomplished in either outline view or in slide view. Personally, I prefer to change the formatting of the text within slide view. In using slide view, I get the opportunity to see how the formatting changes affect the actual view of the slide. Let's go down to the slide view tool and click to go back to slide view. I'm going to move back to my first slide. It says Learning PowerPoint by Allison J. Balter. I've decided that I want to make Learning PowerPoint larger, and I might even want to select a different font. I'm going to click and drag to select the text Learning PowerPoint. Notice that it's in Times New Roman 44, it's italicized, and it's also centered. I'm going to select that I want bold, and I want to make the font larger. There's a couple of ways that I can make the font larger. I can pick a specific font from the font size drop-down. So for example, I can select 48. My personal preference is rather than selecting a size from the font size drop-down, instead I use the Increase Font Size tool, which increases the font size one font size at a time. I can continue to click this tool until I get the size that I'd like. If I want to decrease the font size, I can click Decrease Font Size, and it gets smaller, one font size at a time. So it's very easy for me to use increased font size and decreased font size to get the size of the font that I'd like. If I want to select a different font, I need to use the font drop-down on the toolbar. Click to open up the font drop-down, and I can try various fonts to see what they look like. So I can continue to go through, that's an interesting one, and select various fonts until I get a font that looks good to me. Why don't you play for a moment and find a font that you'd like, and then select a size for that font. So I've selected architecture and I've left it at 80, bold and italic. I can also underline, I can even shadow, and I can determine within its text box whether that text is left aligned, centered, or right aligned. I'm going to go back to center. So I have architecture 80, bold, italic, shadowed, and centered selected. The tools we haven't worked with thus far are your bullets, increase paragraph spacing, and decrease paragraph spacing, as well as our animation effects. Let's go to our next slide. And right here you can see that these topics are considered paragraphs. If I clicked and dragged to select all of the topics and use this tool right over here, this will increase the paragraph spacing. I'm increasing the spacing between the items. Notice that they stay equal distant apart. I can also decrease the paragraph spacing. If I click in learning about PowerPoint views and click decrease spacing, it just decreases the spacing between this item and the one above it, so they do not remain an equal distance apart. So it's up to you what you want to accomplish. We have not yet worked with the bullet points, and we have not yet worked with animation. As far as demote and promote, it's very easy to demote and promote using these buttons instead of tab and shift tab. We'll be learning about animation in a later tape. Now you should be comfortable in working with both outline view and slide view. In this section, you learned how to add a title slide within slide view. You also learned how to add additional slides of various formats. You learned how to add topics and subtopics and how to promote and demote those topics. You learned how to edit the presentation text, and finally, you learned how to enhance your presentation using various formatting techniques.